So last week I uploaded a video that was an update video to the channel, and the response was so overwhelming and it made me so happy. And the common thing I kept seeing on social media and on YouTube in the comments was that people were excited at the fact that I was more personal with the video and just more open and honest and kind of, you know, more loosey-goosey, if you will, with the content. And so I thought, you know what? It's Thanksgiving, or as I used to know it as Black Friday's Eve, as all you brave soldiers out there are working in retail during a pandemic. My heart and soul and salute to all of you out there who are dealing with the pandemic and working retail. It's a nightmare. I did retail for 5 years at Best Buy, and I know how much of a nightmare it can be. So thank you for your service. I wanted to do a Xbox versus PlayStation video, considering that we are now a couple weeks into the new generation, and just kind of give my thoughts and impressions of just the consoles, the hardwares, the games kind of coming with the launch titles involved for both platforms, and more importantly, performance. Performance doesn't matter to a lot of people, but for me it kind of does, because I just want things to work, I want things to go well, and I want things to just move along smoothly. So with that said, I already unboxed my PS5. If you want to see, you can go to my Instagram to check out my unboxing video that I did. So I'm going to talk about the PS5 first, and then this is going to be an unboxing of the Xbox Series X. This thing is huge. Look at this. Look at this. It is larger than my head. It is larger than parts of my body. This thing is massive. It is huge. And the craziest thing is that if I remember the breakdown videos, there's no fans in here. It's just like, how did they not put a fan in this thing? This is insane. Maybe they did and I just don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid, but either way, this is massive. I like the design. It doesn't look nearly as air purifier as I thought, or Wi-Fi router as I thought. It feels it's very heavy. It looks very different. Now, for those of you guys who are wondering, this is the digital model, or the physical model, the CD model. You can tell because there's a slit on the bottom of the console where the CD goes. Upon unboxing this thing, you're given a new PS5 DualSense controller, which, mind you, USB-C. Thank you. Companies are finally unifying the cord wars. Guys, mini USB, micro USB, USB 3.0. Finally, it's all going away, and we're here with USB-C. Stop changing the cords. Make everything one cable. Let it all be fast. Thank Jeebus. Here we are. This thing is huge. When you open it up, you get the controller. You get an HDMI cord. You obviously get a charge cord for the controller. And you also get this stand. Now, the stand has two ways of resting. You can have it standing straight up, or you can have it on its side. The thing about having it on its side that I found I didn't like was that you can't use the screw on the stand to keep it secure. You have to just kind of magnetically sandwich it on the side. In fact, I don't know if you can tell, you're not going to be able to see it. So you basically take this stand and you align it with the PlayStation shapes, and it clamps on this way, so that when it rests back, it's sitting like this. I will say the back looks very nice and clean. Good access to good ports. It's very flush. Overall, this feels like a physically very good piece of hardware. I am very curious to see how this thing gets smaller in the next couple of years, because this thing is massive. Now, I want to tell you a quick story about how I got my PS5. First things first. Yes, I have a lot of subscribers. Yes, I know a lot of folks in different companies. Yes, I get free products all the time. I don't have a direct phone number to a lot of these people. So I did not get a PlayStation 5 early. This was a part of my blood, sweat, and tears of trying to hunt down a console. Now, as many of you guys know, it has been very difficult to get a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X for that matter. And it has been a nightmare for me. I have been hunting on every website. I have every notification on my phones. And it got to the point so bad where I pre-ordered 5 PS5s for the office, for the team, for myself. Out of those 5, 3 got canceled, and then 1 got reinstated. But I have not received that one. Just want to give a quick update to my story about how many PS5s I had. In this video, I said I had 3 PS5s. Well, now I only have 2 because I had 2 PS5s on my person, but I had a third in transit via FedEx at the time that I was filming the video. Turns out FedEx stole or lost my PS5. Now I say stole or lost because there have been hundreds to thousands of reports across the country that FedEx drivers are just flat out stealing PS5s. So if you bought a PS5, Xbox Series X or S, or maybe even an iPhone, for the love of God, watch your delivery times and track where the package is at all times. And if it doesn't arrive the day that it's supposed to, you need to contact FedEx right away or your retail outlet to get a refund. I repeat, get those receipts ready, screenshots, emails, etc., and or contact FedEx or the retail place where you bought the console from. I'm pretty livid. It's pretty insane what's going on right now. I am very lucky that Target fulfilled my refund. Not everyone will be nearly as lucky this holiday season.
So I currently have in my possession 3 PS5s. One's going to the office so I can record here when I'm working here. One's at my house, and the other one's going to my girlfriend Amanda so she can play games when she wants to, because we usually play games together when we game. So yeah, these things are still difficult to get. I imagine this holiday season they're still going to be difficult to get. So keep in mind that you are going to struggle to get these. This retails for $4.99. This retails for $4.99, I believe, the same price. It's important to vote with your wallet in these times. Now, I'm not saying don't support Sony or Microsoft. What I am saying is don't support scalping. It is the worst way that we as consumers get screwed over, the companies get screwed over, and in the end, everyone who's hoarding these consoles are the ones that succeed. It's not fair. As a predatory warning, if you're on Craigslist trying to find these consoles, you're gonna see a lot of people saying, hey, have these consoles at reasonable prices, cash app only. Don't do it. Do not do it. Cash only in person, bring a friend, be safe. If you're gonna do it that way, wear a mask. Just be smart. Be smart. SMRT, smart. Don't mess it up. When it comes to the DualSense controller, this feels incredible. I love this controller. I was a little worried at first because I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't tell you guys my first experiences with the PS4 controller. I hated the PS4 controller for the first few months because to me, it looked like someone took a DualShock 3 and took a hammer to it and then just pasted it back together in weird places. The PS4 controller felt like a prototype of this controller, and this controller feels so nice. There's a button on the bottom to mute your mic. There's a built-in microphone into this controller. You have the haptic feedback controls, which is pretty interesting. Basically, with the rumbling, there's a lot more pressure sensitivity, so you can kind of really feel if you're playing a game that has a lot of rumbling or collision or explosions, and the varying degrees of that, as well as the triggers are pressure sensitive. So right now they're pretty open and free because console's not hooked up. When you're playing a game that might require you to pull a rope or to lift a car or anything like that, you usually use these triggers, and the triggers get very resistant to what you're doing. And at first it like messed with me. It really messed with me. But what messed with me even more is that you'll get to a point where you're playing games where it requires the slightest of touches as opposed to pressing it on time or holding it down. In Astro Game Room, the game that comes with the PS5, there is a situation where you play as a monkey and you have to reach onto these rocks and rock climb, and there's a section where the rock that you're about to grab onto is cracked. So if you grab it and hold it too quickly with too much pressure, it breaks. But if you just have the controller just right, it lets you hang from it. It's very interesting stuff. The thing that I will say, the one thing that I will say that I hate about this is we are once again back in the 6-axis days of motion control gaming. I don't know why companies are doing this, or rather why Sony is doing this. I don't need the 6-axis. I don't think anyone liked the 6-axis on the PS3. There wasn't really anyone missing that motion control aspect on the PS4. So the fact that these things have that motion control thing once again, I just hope developers don't use it. I really hope they just let us have, or if they do use it, let us turn it off. Not everyone wants to act like they're driving a car like this. They just want to press X or R2 to drive. That's it. That's the only complaint I really have when it comes to this bad boy right here. So I've talked a lot about the PS5. Let's talk a little bit now about the Xbox Series X. Now I unboxed this bad boy because, spoiler alert, I am playing Miles Morales as well as Demon's Souls. Those are my first 2 games. I'm going to be doing a completionist episode on the PS5. So it was a priority for me to open this bad boy up. I completed Astro within the first few hours of opening the game. There's a free game in here. I completed it. It's relatively easy. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a celebration of PlayStation. Now, while I don't have any friends at Sony that watch this channel and support me, I do have friends at Microsoft. So the Xbox Series X was actually given to me from Microsoft. So thank you, Microsoft. Thank you, Microsoft! Yeah, so we're gonna unbox the Xbox Series X real quick and look at the console, look at the controller, and kind of compare the two. Shout outs to the manufacturing team who made stickers that they knew would not destroy the boxes. I say that, I'm gonna rip the box in half. Whoa! Hey guys, Microsoft here with the motivation. Power your dreams. This thing's heavy too! Why is everyone making these things so heavy? I mean, it makes sense. There's a lot of power in here, but geez. Woo! Oh, if you guys are ever wondering during the pandemic how you can go back to the gym, this is it. Grab your Xbox Series X, grab your PS5, and start curling. Shoutouts to the economic design team for the Xbox Series X. I can already tell out the gate that this is already, like, look at how well designed the insides are. This right here just slides out. It sounds stupid, but as someone who used to work in retail, I really appreciate the nuances of designing the innards of taking apart stuff. So we have HDMI cord, we have power cord, and we've got the controller. I don't think there's anything else in here. There is a instruction manual in case you don't know how to use an Xbox. There's like 3 instruction manuals in the PS5. They're all big and bulky. Here we are, the Xbox Series X. Huh. Now that I see it, it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I've seen so many images of this, comparing it to dogs and to people. I thought this was going to be a lot smaller than the PS5. But I mean, in terms of height, they're not, what, a couple inches different. It's very interesting to kind of see. It's so fascinating to see the design philosophies between 2 colossal companies. Look at these things. They're arguably different with regards to specs, obviously, and controllers and games and development, but the design philosophies between the boxes, the controllers, and the consoles themselves are so interesting. Sleek, futuristic looking, really weird but interesting. Here, you kind of have this cube square-ish approach that I honestly dig. I didn't think I was gonna like this. I would get this fridge. If there was a fridge that is commercially available, I would get this. Looking at this as well, it looks like Microsoft has added the option for you to lay it on its side, out the box, which is nice. PlayStation does not have that. You have to take off this stand and switch it. The stand's based here on the board. It's pretty secured in there. And then there's little dip bubbles on this side that allow you to lay it either way. And I think the most interesting thing here is that the button is still kind of the same. It's a little bit different in terms of design because it's obviously not the same length of the X in the logo, but man, way bigger than I thought. Way bigger than I thought. Let's get to the controller. I feel like hardware innards don't mean that much to me, but hardware design does. I don't know what that says about me as a person. Maybe I'm just really vain and boring. All right, if it ain't broke,
don't fix it. I think that's kind of the gist of what this is giving me vibes right now. Looking at the Xbox Series X controller, the controller is very much the same design from the Xbox Series X to the Xbox One line of controllers. Once again, USB-C, USB-C, USB-C. Thank you, companies. Speaking of which, I didn't find a USB-C cord in here. I don't know if it comes with one, but you kind of don't need to worry about it because there are batteries in here with the sync button. But if you were to connect this to a computer, I think you can use this USB-C cable or get rechargeable batteries of some kind. The matte finish is a bit different, and the matte grip on the bottom is different. I'm conflicted. The bottom part of this feels wonderful. The grip on the bottom feels really good. The matte finish on top feels a little plasticky, and I don't know why. It's definitely not the same material as the Xbox One line of controllers, but I definitely would love to see where this goes, because I always feel like they improve some of the later editions with colors and special edition controllers. I'd love to see more of where it goes. It definitely feels a lot more smooth. Smooth is the word that I would use. I think the biggest improvement, however, look at that D-pad. Finally, you don't have to spend $1 million on a controller that has a good D-pad. So for those of you guys who don't know, the Xbox, ooh, they're clicky. I haven't had a D-pad click like that in years. I mean, listen. It's crazy, right? The Elite controller line from Xbox allows you to alter the D-pad or get a better functioning D-pad, but they kind of approach to including this time around for the Xbox Series X controller. The little line finish on the bottom here is also on the triggers, but not on the top. This is very helpful for me because let me tell you guys, as long as I've been playing 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X now, if you tell me RT or RB, I already ruined it. RT, RB, I never know them. I don't know why. No matter what, if you show me a button prompt, I never get it right. I know R2, I know R1, I know L1, I know L2. I can never get RB, RT, LB, LT. I don't know why. Triggers? Is it triggers and buttons? No, see, I don't even know what the B stands for. It's bumper. That's what it is. Triggers and bumpers. I never get it right. I never get it right. But for the triggers at the very least, I'm getting a better vibe because of the shape of the buttons, as well as they have the same line finish on the bottom here. I don't know if it's called line finish, but it has a lot of little dots. So it's like a little grip almost. The PlayStation does not have that. Actually, it does. It does have it. It does have that same kind of back finish on it. I don't know what it's called, but they both have it. All right. So right now, judging on the controller, if I had to go with PS5 or Xbox Series X, I'm gonna say probably PlayStation 5. But if this is the new line of controllers for PC gaming, this is where I'm at. I loved the Xbox 360 controller, and I loved the Xbox One controller. So I'm probably gonna love this within the PC side. Forgive me on those triggers and bumpers, but it's a good controller overall. The analog sticks feel good as always. Button connectivity feels really solid. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft makes a great product. I'm stoked to use these controllers more and more. But now that I've got these things out, you guys see the consoles. I think the big thing next is to test performance. Let's see. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to hook these bad boys up, and I'm going to download the same games on both consoles, and we'll test right now and see which one's faster in terms of loading, in terms of performance, and in terms of just overall good gameplay feel. So we're gonna test, I think we'll go with 3 titles. Let's jump to that montage.
Okay, so based on what ended up happening between filming the conversation you guys just watched and editing this video, I'm gonna change up what I said a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys footage of Uncharted 4 running on PS5, footage of Marvel's Avengers on Xbox Series X, and then comparison video footage of Assassin's Creed Valhalla synced up. Uncharted 4 looks awesome. Obviously, it looks good and plays exactly as it should. It's got improved frame rates. But the biggest takeaway here are the loading times. It is so fast. Remember that, because that's going to be kind of a theme going on here. Next up, you guys know it, my favorite game of the year, Marvel's Avengers. Many of you guys know the troubled history of this game, especially my troubled history, but I wanted to see if the improved launch / Xbox Series X / Xbox One port, I'm not really sure, it's not very clear on the opening menu, how it would operate. I gotta tell ya, if I didn't know anything about this game, I would have been tricked again. It looks great. The opening moments of the game, I didn't notice any glitches or hiccups. And again, it loaded so fast. I spent a lot of times in loading screens when I completed the game a few months ago. This easily would have helped me. And finally, here's some side-by-side comparison footage of Assassin's Creed Valhalla running on the Xbox Series X and the PS5. This, I'll let itself do all the talking.
How long have you been chasing me, Wolf-Kissed? 17 winters? 18? Do I now haunt your dreams? Do I warm your loins?
And that has been my PlayStation 5 versus Xbox Series X video. I say versus, but honestly, here's the thing. You guys still with me? You guys still watching this video for some weird reason? If you're still here, thank you. Second, I don't actually care. I don't care about the console wars. What I care about is the fact that we have video games. We have awesome video games in the year 2020. We are able to enjoy what we have. We're able to play the games we want to play, however we want to play. And I think, you know, the reason why I don't care, obviously, is because I am fortunate enough to have the money and sometimes in this case connections to get some consoles and some free products. But for everyone else out there, that may not be the case, and times might be tough, and it might not be financially capable or financially capable to purchase these consoles. So I understand why everything else kind of matters. So regardless of what it is, I think in the end we all win. We all get to enjoy the consoles we get to enjoy. We all get to enjoy the games we want to enjoy. And yeah, I think it's all awesome. I'll just end this video with one last important statement. F you scalpers, you pieces of let Timmy get a PS5. Sally wants to buy an Xbox Series X, and you motherfuckers are charging $1,200 for it. F off, my dudes. There's a pandemic happening. Find some other way to monetize. Go on to YouTube and do. I'd rather you do that than scalp to people. I've been Gerard the Completionist. Scalpers. Bye-bye.